Where you from?
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda 4 drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me.
Hi, my name is Heather, aka Stony Baloney, and this is the Stony Baloney Podcast. If you're expecting anything from this podcast, don't. But if there's one thing you will learn about me, is you never know what stony you're gonna get. This is the journey of one spicy, sarcastic entrepreneur who came out of her cannabis closet and has been blazing through life ever since.
So stupid.
As a multi-passionate person who has lived from one coast to another, I know there is more to life than just a 9-to-5 grind.
You fucking
I
know
hope
it.
to inspire others to try new things no matter how old you are, start doing things you love and turn them into your side hustles, and to simply stop giving a fuck how others want you to live your life. I went to a funeral this morning, and it's hard when you weren't like close with the person, but you don't know what to wear. Like, is this a casual family thing? Is this, families are different. I've been to funerals where people are laughing because it's more of a celebration of life. I've been to other funerals where everyone's bawling and, you know. So with that being said, I wore black leggings and I didn't think that was appropriate.
It's black.
Fuck. But I had a decent sweater, I guess. But Kenny was dressed up. But it was weird. And I told you this before. But people were taking pictures. And it was like, I think it was a church. I think I was in a church. Well, let's back up. Do you smoke before a funeral?
Yeah, you smoke before any event. Come on. Do you have anxiety before a funeral?
Yes. It's been a long time that I've been in a church. But I think since COVID, like funerals and stuff like that have been more of a casual thing or a private thing versus actually at a church.
Right.
But do you ever bust out with, did you go to church growing up?
No, I actually wasn't. Fun fact, I went to Catholic school, but I didn't go to church.
You whisper like you're on a sex hotline.
What are you talking about? Am I loud enough for you now?
Yeah, what would you say?
I said I didn't grow up in church, no, but fun fact, I went to Catholic school and I got kicked out, but never stepped foot in like a church other than for a funeral, so I don't know.
I did go to church, and my fond memories of going to my grandma's church in Leroy.
Fond memories?
Well, back then, and kind of like today, like the whole time you're like, wow, this is a long time. 30 minutes? 30 minutes is good. You do your sing-alongs. It's like a fucking concert. Everyone gets into it. And then, but...
Did you sing along today?
In my head. But every time the guy like went to like sing and get everyone going, he'd be like, "Amen." He didn't sing like that. But sometimes I get high and I just, one of those songs pops in my head. Like, what's a good one? You probably don't even know them.
Nope.
They didn't play most of the songs that I grew up in church doing. They had a different twang to them, the ones that I did.
Twang.
But yeah, people were taking pictures with cameras and cell phones. I'm not talking shit. I just never seen anything like it in a church before.
I mean, I've seen lots of pictures of funerals. Growing up, my mom usually like never let me go to them. I don't really know why, but like I can remember about 3 that like she went to, but told me that you're not going. So, but I've always seen pictures of them. So I don't think that it's weird that there are pictures.
So there's like a part where they do, maybe it's because I grew up in the 90s and we didn't have phones. So it's a respect not to be on your phone in church.
True.
Today, I was writing my podcast notes in church. Harry went to sit in the back, like behind us. He wouldn't sit with me, so him and Kenny sat behind me, and I sat with Kenny's sister. And then eventually, like, Harry came. He did pretty good. He had a couple moments where when people got to stand up and sing a songy and whatever, he would be like, I want to go home. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking at everybody and I'm looking at everybody praying and, you know, and I'm just thinking, I feel like I look like I don't belong here. I've got the hair, which, by the way, I don't even know if Scott saw my eyebrow. Yo, so my hair, I can't hear anything. My hair is blonde as shit. Put in this bag. My hair is blonde as shit. We dyed my eyebrow. Everything's all fucked up.
Do you see the eyebrow? Did you show him the eyebrow?
No, because it turned frantic. I got a mint stuck in my throat now. It fucking hurts. Luckily, we have spring water from Wegmans. This is not a paid advertisement.
Thanks, Scott.
But I just felt like I didn't belong. Like, I got split hair. I have black eyeliner out my ass all over here, but tattoos.
This is a new age, so you shouldn't have even been worried about it. But I can understand, like, your concern for the cameras because you're not used to that. That's something you're not used to seeing.
Well, it kind of also made me, so they split to do the body of Christ's communion. I forget what it's called. You eat the bread and drink the wine. If you know I'm a germaphobe, I'm not fucking touching that wine glass. But also, the priest or preacher, I believe it was a priest. I don't know if that was the Catholic Church or not. I don't think it was. Maybe Protestant. Anyway, they had this one and they had this one. And, like, everyone got up to this guy. And, like, no one went to this guy.
Well, aren't you supposed to start with one and then go to the other? Like, you...
I remember that.
So when I did Mass at Catholic school that I got kicked out of, thank you, we used to line up separately. So we used to have to go to, like, the body of Christ and then go and get, like, the blood of Christ wine. Yeah. Who the hell gives wine to high schoolers?
I think the preacher chugs it at the end for whoever doesn't drink it. Jesus, Lamb of God.
There's the song.
You take away the sins of the world. Have mercy on us.
You have a hidden talent.
I do. But yeah, I felt like I should have tried better looks wise. And so then I start listening to what they're saying. And it's kind of processing with, like, what's happening this week and shit in my life. So I had, like, a full circle moment, which also we got in trouble this week, which is fine. Good trouble. So long story short, I started making these scriptures. And for not being in church in a while, it's weird that I was in a church today and there were scriptures read. So, yeah, I got a little doctrine being written up, and I can't wait for this book to be out.
She comes over, she goes, what's that thing? What's, in the Bible where they put the name and then, like, the numbers? I'm like, a Bible scripture, I think? And then she just ran with it.
I did not. Oh, there's an
An
That was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have to work on my ums. Listening to episodes, it's... cringing. Speaking of cringe, we lost a bong yesterday. We lost a lot of things yesterday.
The sound of it was definitely cringe.
So I have the perfect cup holder for my bong, which I this is a disclaimer that you should not smoke and drive. I do not. I just have a travel bong. So I had my travel bong unpacked in the cup holder, and Alyssa's dog.
Oh, Rex.
Damn, what's the time on the clock? 10 minutes in, and we're already with Alyssa today. So Rex, Kevin, I call him Kevin. He looks like a Kevin or a Balto. Sat on.
Balto?
Yeah, it looks like Balto. It's a Disney movie.
It's Bolt. Bolt? It's Bolt. Where did you get Balto? Did you think Waldo and Bolt?
I'm pretty sure there's a Balto.
There's no such thing. We're looking this up.
Balto's about the sled dog.
Fucking love when
what
Scott.
the hell?
I love when Scott comes
Why
in.
have I never seen it?
He knows when to come in. He's like the guy
Thanks,
on the
Scott.
fucking. He's like the guy on The Price is Right.
I gotta look this dog up. Hold on 1 second. Please hold. 30 seconds.
Wait, did he say it's Balto? I just got excited that Scott chimed in.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, but also it's based on a real,
it's a real dog.
He doesn't look like Balto.
Should we post a picture of Rex today?
This is not Rex. This is not Rex.
Yes, it is. Mind your business.
At least we know Balto's real. Moving on.
So I do have an Instagram thing, like a page called the Stony Baloney Pod. So we're gonna post the second you fucking bitch.
She's gonna cringe later.
But yeah, no, fuck. So Balto fucking puts all of his pressure on the middle thing, and it happened in slow motion. We might have been at a red light or something. I just hear like this. Like a bleh, my spine is fucked right now.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like it was nails on a chalkboard. Yeah.
But it was glass slowly being demolished, and it was my mushroom bong. So if we remember last week, we lost a pineapple, which I do have a list of people ready to buy pineapple bongs. There is nothing better than doing a podcast episode when I'm fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't always talk about what I'm pissed about until, I start making a little bit more money on these podcasts. Then I'm going to lay it all on the fucking table and everyone's fucked. But I did flick the air off, and I just want to say I flicked a lot of things off this week. A lot of cameras, a lot of people, myself. I flicked myself off. But
do you remember your dislocating your elbow moment?
I was so upset the other morning, but more so proving a point. Like, hey, inserting point finger. And I almost dislocated my elbow. I could not move it.
I don't think I've ever seen you on the verge of real tears without being upset.
And
it hurt.
It's kind of like when I went snowboarding a few months ago in the wintertime, and I went to get off of the ski lift, which I guess I had balls when I was 17 in ski club versus now, because I don't know how the fuck I got up those ski lifts. I freaked out the whole time. My eyes were closed. I was like, think of something that pisses you off. And I go, Alyssa.
Oh my God.
And I just feel it. Like, and I would open my eyes and we would be like halfway there. And I'm like, we're already high up and we're already fucked if we fall.
I feel like I just started at our place of employment.
Maybe.
Around that time.
So when it came time to actually get off, Kenny does the symbol to slow down for the me over here. And I was going to insert a word that was used in the 90s that's inappropriate. So let's just move on.
Okay, moving on.
So I go to get off, and when you use a snowboard, you have to have one foot attached to the board. I think I do better with my foot behind attached, but Kenny said that's the wrong way. But I'm opposite of a lot of people. And I feel like if that's how I feel comfortable, I should be able to do it that way. But Kenny insisted that's the wrong way. Nobody does it that way.
But wouldn't it have to do with like your
dominant foot, maybe.
Yeah, your comfort. You're comfortable like that.
How my hips are aligned.
I mean, when you ride a scooter, I mean, everybody probably puts their feet differently. Or when you ride a skateboard.
Yeah, so I went to
Kenny.
I went to land, I guess you could say, the 2 feet off the ground, and my knee twisted in a way where if it moved a centimeter, however big that is, whatever's really small, whatever that is, I think my leg would have snapped in half. And that feeling did not go away for the longest time. I was done after that. I ended up making it down the hill. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it off the hill, but it was definitely a panic moment because I yelled help. I definitely yelled for help, and the lady who was in the booth thing or whatever, she had to turn slow it down for a second or stop it. And then she's yelling, like, are you okay? But she had a big ass fucking smile on her face. Little fucking twat.
She probably sees it like all day.
But
so
mine was so dramatic. You're not really a twat, okay? I'm a fucking twat. But
you're going to lose that one just like you did the pineapple.
Yeah, so, I got this elephant now. Carrie at work has an elephant now, but I used to have one called Orange Floyd, and the cops took it when they pulled me over. I didn't get pulled over for anything. I'm notorious of getting pulled over for stupid shit.
So you got pulled over for something, but it was stupid.
Stupid. Okay. And then they saw the whatever, and I said, do you think this is kind of sentimental from Miami? Do you think we can keep this? Or
I'll clean it right now.
They took it. It was gone. And I forgot to even say that Amani's back. 2 Girls, One Blunt, if you listened to our last episode. But let me just tell you, I've been going around work, posting on Facebook, advertising.
2 girls, 1 truck. She said one day, 2 girls, 1 gutter.
So at work,
fucking Andy,
I started helping with, I got to go to some houses and start picking up material. So I'm like, come on, Amani, 2 girls, 1 truck.
Get your fucking gloves ready.
We fucking had 2 pairs of gloves. I got a fucking tape measure shit.
We got straps, to make that clear. To hold the wood down.
So after a couple weeks, someone dropped a bomb that there's something called 2 girls, 1 cup. And it took a long time for me to find this video to see what they were talking about. I only saw a few seconds, but it came to a point where you have to make a decision. Am I going to rebrand 2 Girls Anna, or am I going to let 2 girls in a cup get to use that their whole lives? So I'm standing on my front porch the other day, ripped as shit, and I look up and I just hear this echo of a truck coming from the distance, getting closer, and I look up and it's 2 guys with a truck. 2 guys with a fucking truck. Meanwhile, this is me on my front porch, mouth wide open, like jaw dropped to the pavement. I'm just...
I think I got a photo immediately.
I was so stunned. My fingers couldn't move. And then by the time that I found, I got the ass end of the truck, you couldn't even tell. But I was just
We had to look it up. We had to look it up.
The reason I even brought Amani back today was because, well, first off, I feel like last time was kind of like a filler episode, which I want to have a lot of episodes where I bring my friends to smoke weed, because that's what I fucking do. I smoke weed at work. I smoke before work. I smoke during work. I smoke after work. I smoke sometimes at night. When I get home, I was going to say I don't smoke that much at home. It depends.
You lie.
So at work, I have to smoke a lot sooner, and I have learned to exist. I have to smoke before I go inside because that just maps out the whole day and how I'm going to handle everything.
Do you have, okay, so like I posted this, I think on my Twitter one time, and I came across it again because I was just chilling in my car. I think my car is my comfort place. Like I will spend, sometimes I have to decompress. Like after a day, Friday, I spent probably like 25 minutes in my car before I even went inside of my house. And it's not that my house is hectic or anything, but like it's just
your space.
It's my comfort. Like I need to decompress and think about what the hell just happened.
I solidly sit in my car for at least 5 minutes before I actually go into the house every day.
Yep.
And the whole time I feel I'm making myself even more anxious because I know everyone knows that I'm home. Layla's going nuts. Harry knows, Kenny knows, everyone's probably peeping, like, all right, how long is it going to take mom to get in today?
I was going to say, you're like a mom, so like that's kind of,
once I walk in the door, I don't know though. So our bedroom, I feel like I've been yelling all day.
But you talked about me for whispering.
My bedroom kind of reminds me of an Airbnb, and we have this wooden thing under the window.
Bitch was cutting her dinner up on her windowsill with her cutting board.
My steak last night.
Oh.
It was not a cutting board. It's a wooden thing. It's a shelf. So I always set up my stool there, and that's
spot.
like my spot. It's where I look out the window. It's where I watch the birds because there's woods across the street from our house. And I just have pretty flowers, and it's my spot.
I hate those flowers. Fun fact. They're just so dirty. They just fall off, and then there's a whole mess all over the place. But I know you told me the hummingbirds like it. So
the hummingbirds are popping in that spot. But when I'm home, I feel I'm always in that spot, and Kenny and Harry are always in the living room. But I think it's maybe different because they're boys. And I'm not saying that girls and boys can't like the same things and whatever, but I feel he's growing up. He's watching his dad.
for sure.
I know I work a lot, and I have to stop beating myself up about that because I'm building brands. I'm growing. I'm trying to set him up. I'm, trying to eventually get a house soon once whatever.
You're creating the foundation. You can't be mad at yourself for that.
And I did my time in the beginning. I think that's where our relationship works as well, because there was a point in time where I didn't even leave Churchville for, I feel like, 2 years. I didn't have a car. I got shade instead and paid rent twice and tried to figure that out. But I feel at home I'm kind of to myself. But I'm always to myself. It does make me sometimes think like I'm a bad mom or I'm a bad wife or because I do like to have so much time to myself. But I think this reverts back to I grew up in a house with no other kids. I'm used to having my alone time, and I need that to be able to function.
See, that's where we're kind of a little bit opposite, because my household was never quiet. Like, I grew up with, I'm the oldest of 6 on my mom's side and 3 on my dad's side. So it's never quiet. There's always something going on. And I found comfort growing up in finding those little times in the day where I can be alone. And I really do value that, because I don't know, but I feel like it's weird that we have that opposite. Like, you're used to it just because you're used to it. But me, like, I have found that. Like, I never had that.
I think a lot of people, too, I just always see people like constantly on the go, or people have kids and they're always at activities and shit like that. I like to relax, dude. And Harry's at school long enough. I can't imagine what it's like to have school at his age, be on the bus in school a total of like 10 hours a day. And he's 5. Like, when I went to kindergarten, it was half a day. I feel for work purposes, a full day works, but that's selfish because you're only a kid once. And I think we deserved more time growing up. I think school should be presented differently, because topics we learned about in high school, I didn't give a shit back then. And there are kids that do give a shit, but I wish we had that free education later.
But I didn't give a shit, and I wish that I gave a shit now.
So that, and I think that is very common with a lot of people. So what can we do in the future to change that and make that and that could be as simple as what can we do at home to teach our kids to value this time?
For sure.
I don't remember shit from back then, though. I just remember the dumb shit I did. And I'm still doing that dumb shit. But, I mean, I'm having fun.
I can agree, I guess. I feel like I haven't changed much other than being a little bit wiser from high school. I'm the same fucking person.
This kind of goes into something I wanted to touch base with last time with you. So photography is on my docket of things that I consider myself as an entrepreneur for. People reach out to me all the time. They still want me to do photos for them. I may have talked about this before, but typically I like to take pictures of birds in nature. I'd rather sell those and have those in a office or something like that versus taking photos of photo shoots and stuff like that. I also like being on the other end of the camera. And I like that I have somebody close to me now that we can bounce ideas off of, but I kind of wish I had somebody like me when I was your age, because I feel I would have been in a very different place. At the same time, I kind of needed all those situations happen to be where I am today. Kenny and I'm kind of going to backspace. So remember, we're talking about, we're going to go into college in a second. But
oh, I remember.
Kenny and I were laying in bed and we were talking because not 5 years. Our anniversary was on the 5th of September. I just spit.
September?
But I'm like, this is stupid because we've been together for 8 years. So I feel you kind of like, you know, it's stupid that you celebrate a wedding anniversary. Like we should. And he made a good point and said, well, that's what our wedding is celebrating all of those years.
For sure.
Like, whatever, Kenny.
But also that's probably what he looked, and tell me if I'm wrong, Kenny, but he probably looks at it like it's that one time a year that like I get to go back and re-celebrate that one day or that one moment that I kind of can't redo. Like you can't just redo that day.
I looked so ugly that day, but I feel like those photos are the ones that make it to when my kids are 30 and they're like, dude, your hair was fucking stupid. Yeah, I know. Okay. I looked like a Sue. We did recreate some Winona Ryder and Johnny Depp pictures that day. One in particular, I'll have to post it, but it's funny. Winona Ryder, because I do mobile spray tans and all my spray tans are named after famous people of the 80s and 90s and shit like that. And my mobile spray tan is the Winona Ryder. And I just fucking love that shit. Solid cold. But we were talking about our relationship and why it works, because I feel a lot of people say, you and Kenny don't get jealous. I know I dress like a slut. I don't fucking like clothes. I don't give a shit. But
that's your comfort.
I never wear a wedding ring.
What? I never noticed that.
I lost it. So we're working on another one. But also, I do yoga and I have the spray tan, so I'm always taking it off. So it's honestly, if we were to go out to a nice dinner or something, like I'd want to wear my ring. But if we're just doing normal everyday life, I don't feel the necessity to wear my ring. And
to lose it.
Well, I just don't feel that I have to. I know I am faithful. He knows I am faithful and vice versa. And I think because of my last marriage and being so young and going through all the things that I have gone through, before I even came into this relationship, it was, I don't give a fuck anymore. You need to be prepared. I am sorry, but people change. You can hope and you can wish, and I hope the fuck you celebrate 65 years together, but it's okay if it doesn't work out. And that's why people cheat. That's why people are deceitful. That's why tensions and stuff happen. You can have people be in your life and meant to be in your life and create a friendship, a different kind of relationship about it. You can have a good relationship with your baby mama or your baby daddy. Like, you can create those good relationships. It doesn't have to be toxic because it didn't work out romantically. And I think because I'm not afraid to be dumped anymore. I'm not afraid.
But I feel like you went through that like a really hard patch in that first marriage, that it's kind of just like you've done all that shit. Like you're over that shit. So now
I learned
it's
from
what
it.
it is. Yep.
We're good to go. So I feel that is why our relationship works so well, because there is not a standard that is unreal.
For sure.
When we have our house, I want my own bedroom. Like, if you want to come sleep in my room or I'm going to come sleep in your room tonight, that's fine. But if you're going to be with someone for the rest of your life, what's wrong with having that personal space too? Especially if people snore and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to not sleep for the rest of my life. I like sleep. I fucking trip out in my sleep. I astral travel. I go to space. I go to my grandma's. Like, fuck.
Which is odd. But okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. So, growing up, like, going back to the school thing, I think I wish I went to college later in my 20s than fresh out of school, because I did a lot of hopping and I didn't get to finish, and I should have a bachelor's degree with all of the school credits that I have and how much time I did at school. But I wasn't ready and I didn't know what I wanted. And I knew for me going into culinary school, everything that we learned our first year, I already knew. So it was like, except for, we had to do like a butcher thing for a semester. I didn't make it to that. That's one class I would not take. One, I was waiting till like my last semester where I like absolutely had to do it. I don't like seafood. I get like tripped out about it, but I did what I had to. I had to make a seafood fucking shit for my final, and I got an A+, and I had to taste it and everything, but I make myself sick when I eat seafood.
But I feel like a lot of chefs and a lot of people who do have like those certificates and like degrees and all that stuff, they do go through that. But once they're out of that, they're able to kind of like niche what they like. And I feel like that's the same with photography. Like you found your niche. You like nature and animals and things like that. I am more of like a people person. Like, I think I work well with people, and you like being behind the camera. I don't. I would rather not. And I think that it's all about finding your niche and like emphasizing that and running with it. Because if you don't like seafood, don't fucking cook seafood.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I wish when I was your age, I knew, it's not that complicated to start a side hustle. I said this last time. All you have to do is start it. So I think my relationship with you is a special one. Not only do we work together, but we have similarities, but we also want to work together on different levels. Like, I want to help you build your business, and you want to make sure that you help me build my business. You share my shit all the time. And I love that we can utilize my space at Shade.
It's a perfect space, and you can do a lot with it. And I mean, you've got a chair sitting in there. It's been in there for quite a while now.
I think we have some exciting things in our future. We want to do our blunt boudoir.
I'm excited for that one.
That's going to be super fun. We should do that next week. We might have time.
We'll have a lot of time to talk about it, that's for sure.
We definitely might have a lot of time to talk about it. I would like to go out and say that, as I said, there's some things we just can't talk about. Not yet. But I had a really rough week, and I feel you have had a rough week as well.
I think that, and I have to admit, I think this week was probably my, okay, I need a fucking minute.
Yes.
Week. So
I've had a lot of these moments over the past few months, and I think I'm having an issue right now where I keep addressing the same things, and I keep getting told that they're going to be resolved, and they're not. And I don't got time for that shit anymore. And you have to let stuff out before it gets bottled up, and then you're saying things that you don't mean. So it is important to kind of write things down and then circle back to them. I wrote something down and I've been circling back on it for the past 24 hours, and I keep fucking fixing it. And there's something that's just telling me not to send it yet, and I'm trying to figure out why. Because I feel the basis of what I have built my company on and what I want it to have a message in 30 years when it's still open is I want my employees and people to be treated how I want to be treated.
sure. And I think that's anybody.
I know you. If I'm hiring you as a spray tan artist, I've been there. I've been the employee. I'm going to spray my fucking face. I'm not going to tell you about it, but after I'm done wrapping up for the day and I've cleaned the room and I've sprayed everybody and I've done like my responsibilities, my face is pale and I put in my time. I'm spraying my fucking face real quick.
That's not what you work for.
But it's kind of like if you work at a restaurant or something like that, I pick up after dirty ass people all day. Why do I have to pay for a fucking fountain drink here?
Absolutely.
It's like having a guest in your home. I'm a guest in your home, bitch. Give me a fucking fountain drink.
Listen to this one. My sister has a friend that works with her at her employee, very well-known amusement park within the range, the area. They're not allowed anything other than water on their shifts. 90-degree day. My sister's friend decided that she wanted to buy a slushie or whatever the hell it was. They fired her. They fired her for paying for her own drink and then drinking it on shift.
That's insane. And I think the only reason I have been able to survive working anywhere else is because there's a leeway. Where there's leeways, though, there's people that abuse that. And that is frustrating to see, especially when you work very hard for what you have.
For sure.
I want an environment at Shade where, listen, I understand there's going to be downtime. There's going to be times where if I want you to sit there and I want that open sign on, there's going to be downtime. So what are you going to do for me in that downtime that could possibly help my business, but maybe help your business too? This is a good time for you to say, hey, we've got nothing going on in 2 weeks. Let's do an event, like make a little extra cash. It'll be super fun. Mm-hmm. But just that one time could grow into something big. Like, how do you know if you don't try?
Just got to go for it.
But also, if you have homework and stuff, you are helping me run my business, and I want to build a relationship that I can trust you. I want to be able to do things for you when I can. I might not be able to pay you $100 an hour every time you work, but I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something.
We'll have to further discuss.
To make sure that you are happy and you are all set. So if you need to do your homework for a couple hours.
But I feel like that's where flexibility comes in. If you do your work and you do your work good, you should be able to have like that time. Like when we first discussed my employment at Shade, like you told me, I know that you're going to be in school. I know that, you are going to have that downtime. So yeah, you can do some of my posts, but like you can also do your homework. And I feel like that's important for an employer to allow.
When I started at where we work now together, my intentions fully were I'm going to work on my website and stuff when I'm sitting at the front desk.
We can't do that shit now.
1000%. That was my intention. And the day I started, I never fucking did it. Never, not even close. The minute I sat down, it was like, okay, so this is what I see. This isn't working. This will make my job more efficient, but also these changes might help the people around me's jobs be more efficient, and then our workflow is going to be better.
But not everybody thinks like that. There are a lot of people who just go do exactly what they're told, do exactly what they need to do, and that's it. You are a type of person who sees where things can have improvement and you work on them. And that's not everybody is like that. And other people should recognize that you have that drive and that it works.
As a business owner, I understand that if I'm going to be anywhere else, I've had lots of little side hustles here and there. I've helped my friends who are in the beauty industry do events and stuff like that. But I make sure that, I'm honest. I know that's not my business. I know your business isn't mine. I know your business isn't my business. But I own a business. And if I'm going to be working here and I see that shit's fucked up, I'm going to let you know.
For sure.
And then I'm going to let you know again. And then if you're not getting it, shame on you. However, if you're not getting it and it's affecting how I'm able to do my job or how my mental, being is, or if I see that you're not listening and it's affecting people around me, I will always say something. And I feel like that's when you just have to tell yourself, fucking send it, because your issues deserve to be addressed. And if they're not being addressed and taken care of, like, when is enough enough? When you can't go in to your desk every day and be able to handle focusing because everything just upsets you, you've had enough and you deserve to be able to say it, especially when you have a case. If you're a fucking lazy piece of shit and you just want things handed to you, and I gotta tell you,
I wish I could use that doctrine right now.
Yes. So this is a book. This is a book that will be in stores maybe someday.
One day.
We'll talk about that another time. But once I,
realize that you're not a piece of shit,
then you just have to
run with it.
You have to run with it. So yesterday I was walking and someone asked me how I was doing, and I said, 2 girls, 1 ultimatum. And I feel like, kind of like the scriptures with the church and the doctrine, full circle.
Full circle.
Also full circle if you've listened to the first episode or the second episode. I think it was the second episode. I got a nice coffee at the Tim Hortons around the corner, and I got a regular coffee, but they gave me an iced coffee, and ever since I've been hooked. Kenny's been making some, comments how there's iced coffee at stores that I can make at home and save money. And I told Kenny to mind his business because I don't drink or anything like that. I work my ass off all day, every day. If my guilty pleasure is these fucking iced coffees from Tim Hortons, I'm going to buy them.
Could be worse.
And it's funny because every time I'm on the phone with you bitches on my way home or something, it's always like a pause. Can I get a medium vanilla iced coffee, triple?
Like, is that how you order it? Yes.
And then I know everyone's thinking, she does have a problem. But I am not a sponsor of Tim Hortons, and I feel like I should be, because I drink this shit all the time. So once, cannabis and coffee places, and we can be open, and no one's scared of sharing your cannabis, please, Tim Hortons, let me know. But last time when you were here, we were talking about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So I got to tell you, I said I was obsessed with 9/11 documentary or like stuff like that. And I ended up starting one that I've watched many times. And it's like every time I watch it, well, it's different because I've just been watching TikTokies for weeks.
We talked about that last time.
Yes. This is the first time I've actually sat and watched a documentary. And it's making me realize how much time we wasted in the 90s. because that's what you want to see. You want these TikToks that are straight to the point versus this hour-long episode that really could have been condensed into 27 minutes. So I was just watching, and I think I was telling you it was creving me out because back in the day when it first happened, I remember vividly pictures, video, live footage of like people jumping to relief. Yeah. And I did not. So there's a part of the documentary where the firefighters are standing there and you can hear the bodies dropping on the ceiling above them like every 2 seconds, and just the look on their faces and stuff. And then there's a part of it where a chef is in a cooler. It sounds like he was in there for 15 minutes or something, but had no idea what had happened because, coolers.
You're in the cooler, yeah.
And he came out and no one was in the kitchen. No one was in the restaurant. He looked over and he noticed there was like a crack in the wall and water coming out. And then he was trying to like push the door, and I guess there was an arm there, and he thought it was like a dead animal or something. And someone came running in and they said, just go look. And he goes outside and there's just nobody. It's a ghost town. Like, obviously it's covered in ash and whatever. And he said there's just hundreds of dead bodies and body parts and whatever laying all over. And it's crazy that we watched that live.
Yeah, I remember like when I was very, very young, so obviously I don't really remember, but falling into rabbit holes about it, I have seen like live news footage of like these people just jumping and things like that, and it's like, Jesus, like, have a little heart, man. But I mean, then again, nobody knew what was happening.
It's wild, but it kind of got into that spiral again, and then I started getting depressed. My heart's pounding on my chest. Kenny's like, can we watch something else? So I decided to watch. I waited till the first tower collapsed. Then I was like, all right, I've put myself through enough torture.
All right, I'm done.
So I put Forensic Files on to fall asleep
even
too.
later.
I know, right? So I feel like I never talk about music, and it's such a big part of my life. I would love to be able to have a radio show, like a Sirius radio or something, because I think we can all believe that my music lists are the fucking shit, no matter what I'm listening to.
You vibe. You vibe. I feel like your music matches your mood, though, and I feel like that's what music should be. Like, you should be able to attach it to your emotion, but also odd and kind of side sticky note.
Something I've always wanted, random radio with Heather Renee. But concerts, I don't know if I really touched this last time, but the concert of the summer was Offspring. Mm-hmm. I've been in a funk. Like, I'm back to my emo, pop punk self. Like, I'm depressed. Listening to the same songs on repeat. But when you're talking about relationships, like we were earlier, I think I have a lot of relationships with people through music. Like, there's people I vibe with over music. It's not a sexual thing. It's not like an attraction. I believe a lot of people, when they first start dating and stuff, they vibe on music. But it's weird to think about other planets and shit like that, and if they have music, because if we didn't have TVs and radios and stuff like that, would we still have a kind of music? But isn't it crazy that there's so many different genres and just genres?
Mm-hmm.
Different kinds of musics and stuff, and people have such deep feelings over it.
Yeah.
Like, you were very upset that you didn't get a chance to win. Who?
We're not going to talk about it. I'll cry.
Jason Aldean?
Nope, saw him. Luke Combs. If anybody wants to, you know.
Never even heard of him, but my girl needs some tickets.
I know. I'm so sad about it. My birthday's in January, and he plays in Buffalo in April. If I don't get tickets, it's the end of everybody in my circle.
So there's a hot minute. Everyone has their thing in their relationships. Mine and Kenny's thing is concerts. We try to go to as many concerts as possible. I would love to do concert photography someday. I'm not an alcoholic anymore, so I can go to one and not get shit-faced off Jack Daniels and become Wyatt Wolf-Eater. But have you seen Wyatt? Maybe at Lux. Whenever I go to Lux, I get fucked.
I've seen it twice. One time at Lux and once at my dad's birthday party.
Oh, I was shot.
But that was different.
I don't think I've been as drunk as your dad's birthday party since your dad's birthday party, which was a year ago, 2 years ago?
A year ago. Last year.
Dude, it's crazy. It feels like so much longer.
It's coming up again.
Well, I do have some concerts coming up that I want to go to, and if you follow my Instagram page, I'm going to start doing a little show of my concert series. We're the people that if they can't go to a concert, we get free tickets. So we went to Journey, Motley Crue last year, took acid at Leonard Skinner.
Oh, that had to be a blast.
Freebird! It's funny, I requested Freebird at Linda's wedding, and she was hammered, so she didn't, recognize that I did it. So I just got a bunch of Mexicans in the desert,
confused?
And confuse it. Who the fuck put Freebird on? And it's such the longest song.
Okay, change this now.
Oh, they changed it really quickly.
Oh, I bet you they did.
But before we wrap up today, we went back and got some more of these Only Blunts. These hemp freaking rolled things are amazing. I know last time we talked about it, but they smoke smooth. Literally smooth. So we went back to Chunk's Choice after I broke my bong the other day. That's where I got this guy, which I have to name. I don't know if it's a...
You didn't break the bong. Rex broke the bong. Moving on.
Rex broke the bong. Amani wanted the bong, so she's upset about it.
I am. I told her to let me buy it.
It was a dope one. But these blunts are dope. Cute shop. Lots of fun stuff.
Super cute.
He even has a couple pineapple bongs there.
Dope vibe.
So don't forget to check out Chunk's Choice. We have our sweet streetwear here. Let me see your shirt.
Don't unfold it. You just ruined it.
You almost put it in the candle.
I didn't. I was watching the candle, buddy. Oh.
I always do it opposite.
It's too small for my tits, unfortunately.
Chunk's Choice Smoke Shop, 33 Main Street, Brockport, New York. It's all about the culture, bitch.
It's all about the culture. These are our go-tos.
Dude, so everyone's been asking for them too. I'm like Santa. I'm like the cannabis Santa because every morning I'm just always handing out hey, try these hash gummies. Hey, blah, blah, blah.
And she'll just casually be like, here, have one.
Speaking of hash gummies, we are trying to work out with Scott an episode coming up where we could do a podcast episode outside. So we can get ripped biscuit the whole time we're out there.
That's going to be fun. I can't wait to see how many ums.
I am so excited. Which I think next time I'm going to buy a pen. I don't like pens, but I also know you can't always smoke inside. And I need to get over it and learn how to adapt. At least try them out.
Well, just try the ones that Kenny gets. They're I don't know how you're going to vibe because Gordo, he doesn't like to smoke them because they taste too fruity. He prefers the one that tastes a little bit more like weed. So maybe, I don't know.
I feel like it's the oil I can't get over. So maybe people just need to start sending me some pens and I'll try them all out.
And then you'll find one that you like.
Yes. If you do have some flour that you would like Stony Baloney and her friends to try, feel free to reach out to us. We will smoke it the fuck up as we do always. If you have any questions you want us to answer on air sometime, feel free. We're two girls and one ultimatum today.
Two 2 girls, 1 blunt, and an ultimatum? Because we got to smoke first.
We did smoke first. We're definitely going to smoke after this too. So I'm excited for next time. I don't know what the next podcast episode might be. It might be, so our next one might just be a filler and smoking with my homies.
Smoking with my homies.
Maybe we can get a nice group to come party. Maybe we'll take some, like a THC drink and some gummies or something.
I think
get real fucked.
I think that would be cool. I think that bringing more people high as shit is what you need.
So we'll have like a smoking party next time. We're definitely going to do this. I'll let you know who we're going to, do this combo episode with outside where we smoke and shit.
Stay tuned.
And then we also are going to have our ghost/paranormal episodes, just working on those guests. I'd like to have a spray tan episode. I do have some spray tan trainings coming up, so that would be dope. I have some spray tan artists around the world who are going to come on the podcast. That's fucking dope. So a lot of fun stuff. And I would like to have a bunch of people in the Rochester area that smoke or that, sell cannabis or trying to sell cannabis, smoke shops, reach out to me. We'd love to talk to you.
I think that that's probably the best thing, like Chunk's Choice, like dope. So dope. Derp.
Well, thanks, Stony.
Stony what?
Balonies. I gotta have we gotta come up with something. We gotta come up with something for like my tribe. Like Stony Bees.
Stony Bees.
Stony Bees.
That's a good one.
All right. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Shit a dick.
Shit a dick.